Now turn to Section 4. Section 4. You will hear part of a talk about the Great Pyramid of Giza. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Thank you for coming along today. Archaeology has been my life's work, and it is an honor to be able to share that which I love with the wider public, and to hopefully instill a similar passion in some of you here today, and who knows, maybe inspire the next generation of archaeologists. Now, if you have researched my background, you will know that for most of my career I have worked in Egypt. So, unsurprisingly, it is a little bit of Egyptian magic that I want to share with you today. Look at the screen above me here. What you see is one of the most awe-inspiring sights in the world. It is, of course, the Great Pyramid of Giza, or at least a diagram thereof. Let me first take you on a little walk through the pyramid to show you what it contains. Leading down the passageway from the entrance takes you to the subterranean chamber. Now, for any of you taking notes, let me spell that. Subterranean. S-U-B-T-E-R-R-A-N-E-A-N. Spelling has always been a weakness of mine, too, so never mind. Now, no one really knows what this was meant to be, but some speculate the king may have originally built this burial tomb here and then changed his mind. If we wander back up towards the entranceway and then take two lefts, we find ourselves in another chamber, almost directly above the subterranean one. This is called the Queen's Chamber, but not as its name suggests, because it was the burial place of the Queen. In fact, many Egyptologists believe this chamber housed the pharaoh's spirit. If we wander back out of the Queen's chamber, we re-enter the main passageway in an area where it gets considerably wider. This widened passage is the Grand Gallery, thought to have been built as a glorious entranceway to the king's tomb. Have any of you noticed the three smaller passageways here? Here and here. Two of them leading out of the upper sections of the pyramid. These are not in fact passageways at all, but rather air shafts that were necessary to maintain a supply of oxygen for slave workers as the building work was going on. Two of the air shafts lead into the signature room of the structure, the King's Chamber. It was inside this tower-shaped room that the pharaoh's body was laid to rest. Magnificent, isn't it? Such an amazing feat of engineering, and to think that it's more than 5,000 years old. It's hard for us today to appreciate just how much of an achievement it was to build a construction of this kind so long ago. But to put it in perspective a little, bear in mind that the Egyptians had no motorized equipment, no computers to make difficult calculations as to the structural integrity of the building, no lorries or trucks to transport building materials, etc. They relied to a large extent on handheld tools, and the harnessed power of animals, and indeed other human beings, namely their slaves. An estimated 2.3 million blocks of limestone are believed to have gone into the building. These giant slabs were, it is thought, sourced from nearby quarries. Some of the Tura limestone used had to be transported across the Nile, but getting the limestone to the building site was a piece of cake compared to the task of transporting the estimated 80-ton granite slabs used in the king's chamber there. After all, these came from the town of Aswan, some 500 miles away. In total, it is believed that 8,000 tons of granite from Aswan, 5.5 million tons of limestone, and 500,000 tons of mortar were used in the construction. The ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians was demonstrated time and time again. In response to the challenge of having to somehow cut the giant slabs of limestone and granite, the Egyptians devised a novel method which involved hammering wooden wedges into the stone. Water was then poured onto the wedges until they were completely soaked. As the wedges absorbed the water, they expanded, causing cracks to form in the rock as they did so, effectively cutting the slabs into pieces for the Egyptians. At completion of the main structure, white casing stones were added. Sadly, little evidence remains of these, and we can only imagine how beautiful the pyramid must have looked with this white facade adorning it. A massive earthquake which struck in AD 1300 loosened most of the outer casing stones, and these were removed at the wishes of the then-ruling Bahri Sultan, who wanted them reused to build mosques and fortresses in Cairo. In fact, many of the original casing stones can still be seen on structures around the city today. The precise manner in which the pyramid was constructed is still not known. Various theories suggest the huge slabs of stone were either pulled, dragged, lifted, or even rolled into place. Indeed, due to recent findings, some have also begun to question the notion that slave labor was used at all. This notion was first put forward by the Greeks thousands of years ago, and has remained popular ever since. But archaeologists have recently discovered evidence of huge workers' camps, which seem to suggest that the building may have been undertaken by armies of highly skilled workers rather than slaves. One Egyptologist, Werner, posited that the huge numbers of highly skilled workers were organized into a hierarchy consisting of two gangs, each of about 100,000 men. According to Werner, the gangs were further divided into 5 groups of tribes of 20,000 men according to their skills. What is certain is that is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answer to the listening answer sheet.